His latest book is about how the Western civilization is all about Israel. It could not be more obvious. This guy has zero loyalty to the United States of America, zero loyalty to Western civilization. He's not a Christian. And so Josh Hammer, he's the editor at Newsweek. He wrote an article at Daily Mail attacking me and Tucker Carlson, but there's something really disturbing at the very end. He says something which I would construe in this political climate as a threat. He writes this long-winded article about anti-Semitism, Jew hatred. That's the whole article. Seething and bitching and whining about anti-Semitism, which is par for the course. I'll have the usual, please. Thank you. But what is really disturbing about the article is the way that it ends. He closes the usual screed, the usual paranoid, histrionic screed about anti-Semitism with a call for, quote, Tucker Carlson to be neutralized. To be neutralized. What does that mean exactly? And the significance should not be lost on anybody. We are nearly 2 months after Charlie Kirk was murdered, after he was neutralized. This is a year after Donald Trump was shot in the face and he was almost neutralized. What does that mean? This is a Jewish American married to an Israeli, completely loyal to Israel, calling for 2 Americans to be neutralized because we're not on board with Israel. What do you mean by that? We should all take that very seriously. These people, the Josh Hammers, the Ben Shapiros, they are dangerous. They are killers. They are bloodthirsty killers. They support the mass murder of an entire people. And I've said this before. Make no mistake about this. Do not be under any illusions. When you see the way these people talk about the Palestinians in Gaza, you might find that offensive. You may find that troubling, but you might not be concerned about it. Because for Americans, for white people, for Christians, there is a bias against, let's say, Muslims, Arabs, people of the third world. So when they have their bloodthirsty rhetoric about starving Palestinians to death, give them hell, kill them all, when you hear that sort of thing, if you have a conscience, you might understand how sick that is. But there's this aspect of we're far removed from that suffering. It's not imminent. It's not close to home. But I've said this for many months, and I've said this for years. Make no mistake about it. These people, feel the exact same way about me and all of you. And Tucker Carlson and Candace Owens and everybody else. Dan Bilzerian, Jake Shields, Myron, Sneeko, Lucas Gage, Sam Parker, all these people, Keith Woods. These people, the Jews, they feel the exact same way about all of us that they do about the Palestinians. So when you hear them say, kill them all, starve them, give them hell, when they gloat and laugh about dead children being shot in the back of the head, that's because they see the Palestinians as an obstacle to Israel's goals. They see the Palestinians as anti-Semitic. And what does that mean? It means they stand athwart the Jewish national interest. That's what that means. And they see us in exactly the same way. So I wouldn't put it past them if they tried to hurt Tucker. I wouldn't put it past them if they tried to hurt me. That's who they are. That's how they operate. And they should be really careful. Josh Hammer, you better be really careful about that kind of rhetoric. Because if something ever happens, God forbid, to me or Tucker Carlson, I think everybody's going to blame you. And rightly so. So you better be real careful. You're barking up the wrong tree. You think that's the right message right now? You think that's the right kind of rhetoric? Mark Levin is calling us Adolf Hitler. He's calling us Nazis. Really? Didn't conservatives just get done telling us that it was rhetoric like that? That it was exactly rhetoric like that which is responsible for inciting the left to try to murder Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, and a number of others? You're barking up the wrong tree if you think that's a good idea right now. And that goes for both of them. And we'll get into it. We'll talk about both of them. And honestly, I could barely contain my disgust. I can barely contain. These people are reprehensible. They say I'm a monster. You people are sick. You people are disgusting. Josh Hammer, Mark Levin, you are disgusting. Not me. I'm American. I'm Christian. I go to church. I love this country. My family fought for this country. You people are fucking sick and disgusting. And I could barely contain. I can barely contain myself when I read this stuff because it's gross. It's despicable. It's not even funny. It's not even a joke. I mean, I know we make jokes about it, and I know we try to be humorous about it, but there's nothing funny about what's going on here. This is treachery and treason of the highest order against America. It's a level of deception. It's a level of dishonesty, lying. It's incomprehensible to decent Americans, decent people, Christians. It's incomprehensible. We cannot comprehend it. We can't comprehend that level of tactical lying, that level of cunning, convoluted, these tricks that they're pulling on us. You can't even comprehend it, how someone's capable of something like this. They're dual agents. They're fucking spies. It's all a lie, and I'll prove it tonight. I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about, and you'll understand. You'll see. We'll be on the same page, but we'll get into all that. It's going to be a good show. Before we get into it, I want to remind you to smash the follow button on Rumble, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Remember to get your merch. We have our brand new white-ass nigga going hard as fuck shirt at Fuentes.store, because that's what we are. I would say that Tucker is a white-ass nigga going hard as fuck. Honorary Wang half. Tucker Carlson, you are this week's white-ass nigga going hard as fuck. No one can deny. I am one also. But it's got Wang half on the front, me on the back. That's what's up. They're trying to neutralize me. Try it. You'll end up like that last guy, like that fucking nerd. They got blown up. Wang half. Fuentes.store. Get the hats as well. Show your allegiance. This is America first. This is America. So you got to wear the hat. Fuentes.store. Free shipping. We have them in blue, camo, black. Let everybody know. This is like a walking sign. It says, Josh Hammer, we're not taking your shit anymore. This is our country. That's who we are. We're the Romans. You're looking at them, asshole. The Romans, where are they today? You're looking at them, asshole. So get the hats, Fuentes.store. Check out our subscriptions if you love the show and you want to show your support. AmericaFirst.plus. Become an America First Plus subscriber. It's $15 a month. You get access to the whole archive, every show I've ever done. So if you think I'm being inconsistent, you could go back to when I was in high school. We have the show going all the way back to 2015. It's 10 years of content. $100 a month club, you get to be in a group chat with me and ask me stupid questions and hang out, and I might verbally berate you, but, you know, that's just part of the deal. So, AmericaFirst.plus, check it out. We're going to dive into the show. And like I said, the reaction to the Tucker Carlson interview has been very polarizing. The group chat is out in full force. I don't know if you've seen it. It'd be hard to miss. But it's Joel Berry, Seth Dillon, Mark Levin, Sean McGuire, Joe Lonsdale. What do they all have in common? They're all very unhappy about the interview. Andrew Klavan. And guys, I don't know how people don't see it at this point. What is it? I mean, what are we talking about here? They're organized. Clearly they're organized. All of this is coordinated. All of this is, they're all working together. And what is the basis of it? They're Jewish. Somebody gets up and says, Judeo-Christianity isn't real. Somebody gets up and says, Israel clearly owns our government. We need to decouple. Somebody gets up and says, look, we don't want to hurt anybody. We don't hate anybody, but this is a Christian nation, not a Jewish nation. There is a Jewish nation now. If that's what you'd like, go there. Somebody gets up and says this. I don't think it's controversial. And you see the organized response from the organized Jewish community, which is to say, you're an anti-Semite, you're a Jew hater, you're reprehensible, you're a Nazi, you need to die. This is what they say to us. And each thing is more ridiculous than the last. I saw Andrew Klavan. Andrew Klavan is one of the lower ranked hosts at Daily Wire. I think he gets the least views or engagement out of any of them. So he's the biggest loser at Daily Wire. He's ethnically Jewish, but he converted to Christianity. He works for Ben Shapiro at Daily Wire. And a lot of people might say, well, what more do you want? He converted to Christianity. He's not really Jewish, he's Christian now. He doesn't practice the Jewish religion, he practices the Christian religion. Well, what did Andrew Klavan have to say about my interview with Tucker Carlson as a Christian? I'm not making this up. This is not an exaggeration at all. Predictably, he brought up the Holocaust. And specifically about the Holocaust, he said that the Holocaust was worse than the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. That's your Jewish convert to Christianity. He said specifically, he said the Holocaust was the crucifixion in IMAX. So you've got the Son of God nailed to a cross and crucified by man, okay? Mankind killed God for nothing. They conspired, they betrayed him on false charges. They tortured him, and then they executed him publicly in front of his mother in the worst way possible. He is God. And Andrew Klavan says, yeah, but you know what was way worse? The Holocaust. The Holocaust was like that times 1,000,000. That's a Christian? How are you a Christian? How are you meaningfully a Christian? He said the Holocaust was the crucifixion in IMAX. He said this had to happen to show people who didn't get the message the first time when Christ was crucified that this is how evil mankind really is. So I don't think it's an understatement to say that the Holocaust is literally their religion. And by they, I don't mean religious Jews, I mean Jews. I mean ethnic Jews. And that is such a thing. That is ethnic, it's heritage. It proceeds from the mother. If your mom's Jewish, you're Jewish. Like we're talking, it's genetic. That's how they identify. If you want to immigrate to Israel, you need to get a DNA test that proves you're ethnically Jewish. It's in your DNA. So we're not talking about a religion. We're not talking about Zionism, an ideology, because Klavan converted to Christianity, but he still can't let that go. He still can't let it go. His ethnic pride, because that's really what this is. It's a form of ethnic narcissism. It blinds him. Because what I would say as a Catholic about the crucifixion is that we all killed Jesus. The Jews accused him, the Romans carried it out, and this was a handshake between God's chosen, the Israelites, the Hebrews, And the nations, the Goyim, the nations, all the other tribes of the world, it was a handshake between them both to kill God. And Jesus's blood is on all of our hands in that sense. We're all guilty of that. That's what I would say as a Christian. And this is the ultimate statement, which is that all of our sins put Christ on the cross, and all of the nations literally put Christ on the cross. And the message is that in order to observe Christ's sacrifice, that is why we must truly love everyone like we love ourselves. But for Klavan, his ethnic grievance is bigger. What happened to the Ashkenazim Jews in the 1940s, to him is worse than killing God. That's ethnic narcissism. That's ethnic pride. That's ethnic supremacy. That is somebody who is a racial idolater, which is the irony. They accuse us of being the white supremacists or the racist race idolaters. There's nobody that's a bigger race idolater than them. He says our genocide was the crucifixion of God in IMAX. What a statement. How could any Christian be okay with that? And in some ways, I understand what he's getting at. And maybe you could say that a different way, but the way he said it proves what this guy's really about. That was his reaction to Tucker and Mike. Yeah, that's not dramatic. That's not histrionics. Two Americans sat down to have a discussion about the state of America. And among other things, we talked about Israel and Joe Kent and a ton of different subjects, comparing it to the Holocaust. That was one reaction. The other reaction comes from Josh Hammer, and this is the one I want to focus on because it's really disturbing. Josh Hammer, I believe, used to be affiliated with Daily Wire, and he's at Newsweek now, and he published a book about Israel and the West. And for those that don't know, Josh Hammer is basically Israel's chief propagandist in the United States. And take a look at a picture of him. He is the ugliest human being you will ever look at. Here on this show, we believe that physiognomy is real. We believe that a person's outward appearance reflects their inner character. He is about one of the ugliest people I've ever seen. He is an ugly, odious, reprehensible person, and he is the chief propagandist for the IDF and Israel's wars in the United States. He has never met an Israeli war that he didn't love. He's never met a genocide or a massacre of Arabs and Muslims that he didn't love. His sole and overriding allegiance is to Israel and the Jewish nation. Always has been. If he's ever said a negative word about Israel, I don't believe it was ever recorded or heard by anybody. And like I said, he got to start with Daily Wire. He's at Newsweek now. He wrote an article in Daily Mail about the conversation between me and Tucker. Now, I want to frame it this way, because here's my perception on the interview with Tucker Carlson. And I said this on Twitter today. Properly understood, all of American politics is like a debate between pro-Israel Jews on the Republican side and these open borders communist Jews on the Democrat side, on the left. That's really our conversation. You've got George Soros and you've got people like Reid Hoffman and Tom Steyer. I don't know if he's Jewish, actually. I think he is. You've got Michael Bloomberg. You've got all the powerful Jewish donors on the Democratic side that are funding the NGOs. They're funding the Open Society Foundation. They're funding the BLM bail funds. You have Mayorkas, who was the head of DHS in the previous administration, from the Hebrew Immigrant Aid Society. On the left, you have these left-wing communist Jews, people like Jonathan Greenblatt at the ADL. They want open borders. They want America to become minority white. It is their life's mission to have an inquisition against white supremacists and racists and Nazis, and they want the white people to go away in America. And on the right, you have Miriam Adelson. You have Witz. You have Joe Lonsdale. You've got Jacob Helper. This time around, you had Bill Ackman. You have Larry Ellison. On the right, you have all of the powerful Jewish billionaires. You have the Jewish allies in the media, like Ben Shapiro, like Joel Pollak, like Dennis Prager, like all the others. And of course, their overriding mission is they don't really care what America's demographics are. They'd like them to be less white, but they don't care that much. Really, they want to use America to help Israel. They want America to give Israel endless missiles and fight Israel's wars and go to war against Saddam Hussein and Gaddafi and Assad and the Ayatollah. And this is our American political conversation. Biden gets in 10 million illegal aliens, and we're throwing all the racists in jail and getting them banned on Twitter. Trump gets elected, and we're revoking the visas of anti-Semites, and we're bombing Iran, and we're giving Israel $12 billion in aid. This is a conversation. And it's like this in the media, too. When there's a debate about Israel, it's two Jewish guys. It's Josh Hammer and Dave Smith. When there's a debate about really any issue, you get like a Jewish free market guy, a Jewish socialist. You get like Robert Reich, and then you get like Milton Friedman. What happened on Monday, my interview with Tucker Carlson properly understood. This is what happens when left-wing Jews and right-wing Jews are having this conversation about what America is going to do and what Americans are going to have to pay for and where they're going to have to die. And two Americans interrupt that conversation. That's what happened on Monday. Two Americans interrupted this Jewish oligarchy having a discussion about what is best for Americans. And they can't stand that. They hate that. That's how I would characterize it. This was the first truly unsanctioned, unapproved conversation. Because you gotta understand, every other conversation that happens on Fox News, that happens at Politicon, that happens in the mainstream media, that happens on Twitter, that happens at Turning Point, dare I say it, CPAC. These conversations, all of them, are sanctioned by our Jewish oligarchy. Everybody knows that's why you have to kiss the wall. You have to kiss the wall, you have to take the trip, you have to sign the letter, you have to cry on Remembrance Day, go to the Holocaust Museum to get your ticket punched so that you can attend or participate in the conversation. Does everybody support Israel? Yeah? Okay, now we can begin. Does everybody observe the Holocaust religion? Yes? Okay, now we can begin. Wait a second. You don't support Israel? Guards, bailiff, get him out. It's a debate about economics. We don't care. Get him out. You're banned from everything. You're ostracized. You're fired. Your life is over. So what happened on Monday is two Americans got together, a WASP and a working class ethnic. Tucker Carlson, who's in Maine, who his family's been here forever, his dad was a patriot, he's as white as it gets, and a Catholic, Italian, Mexican, Irish from Chicago, working class, who's been here since Ellis Island. Two white guys, two white Christian Americans from very different walks of life, very different folkways in America's demographic story get together, and we both had been canceled by the Israel lobby. Mark Levin, the ADL, the ZOA, all the usual suspects, they hate us both. And they hate us both because we are not drinking the Kool-Aid on war with Iran, or the genocide in Gaza, or AIPAC, or the dual citizens, or the foreign military uniforms. We have both been canceled. He was fired at Fox. I was canceled like a million times over. And we both got together and sat down, something that you were really not allowed to do. Someone in Tucker's position was never supposed to be talking this way about these issues. Someone with that stature was never supposed to talk to someone like me. Me being, at one point, a young Republican, I was never supposed to challenge the dogma. I was never supposed to survive being censored, lied about, canceled, all these things. And so we are two survivors, two American survivors who got canceled. Both of us, I'm sure they've tried to kill him. They tried to kill me. We got together and sat down, and we just had a conversation. And some people said, like Sean McGuire, it was pretty inoffensive. It was pretty ho-hum. as far as conversations go. The content was not actually explosive. It wasn't vulgar, it wasn't crazy, it wasn't radical, it was pretty normal discussion, which tells you even so much more by itself. We got together and had a discussion that was unsanctioned, unapproved, two canceled people, and it's not dramatic to say two survivors because they tried to destroy both of us. And we did it really for the first time without any kind of approval from the system. Which is funny when you think about it, because for 10 years, the conservative movement has made its bones talking about we are fighting cancel culture and wokeness, and we're in favor of free speech, and it's a marketplace of ideas. But we all know, everyone knows, that as long as they were saying that, at the same time, they were viciously guarding the gates of acceptable discourse. We all know that as long as they were saying this about free speech and open marketplace of ideas, conservatives routinely engaged in cancel culture, censorship, would not consider things like criticism of Israel up until recently, opposition to mass migration, talking about the reality of race, among other things. And so for the first time really ever, two truly canceled, truly controversial, truly America first white Christian Americans sat down, had a forthright and frank discussion without an ambush, without the fact checker, without the reasonable pushback or whatever that means, just had a fucking conversation. And this is now the reaction. And the general consensus, by the way, even from guys like Dave Rubin, is we need to ban that. Seth Dillon, Joel Berry, Dave Rubin, Sean McGuire, they literally are all out there saying free speech has gone too far. We need gatekeeping. We need censorship. We need to no platform. Bronze Age pervert retweeted someone saying this. Nick Fuentes should be no platforms. No platforms? What happened? These are the same people talking about wokeness? They're calling us the woke right? And they want to engage in deplatforming, no platforming, censorship, right? Blacklisting. They want to bring it all back. Screaming about racism and anti-Semitism. And here's the best part, which is what I wanted to get to about this article from Josh Hammer. Bear in mind, Tucker Carlson is an American. His dad, who we don't want to attack when I say this, but his dad, you could say, being a Cold Warrior, some might say that's patriotic. I look at that with some scrutiny, but some might say, well, there's something maybe patriotic about it. But Tucker has been here in this country for a long time. He knows America. The same is true of me. My family's been in Chicago for 4 or 5 generations. We know no other country. We were born in America. We've lived our entire lives in America. This is our home. This is what we have affection for. Josh Hammer, like so many of these other people that are attacking me and Tucker on Twitter and on social media, his wife is Israeli. His kids are Israeli. And he was literally thanked by Netanyahu. Well, maybe it was other people. I think it was in particular Sean McGuire and Mark Levin. But Josh Hammer's met with Netanyahu. He's been in Israel with Shapiro, all these people. It could not be more obvious. This is a dual loyalist. And this is what he had to say about my conversation with Tucker. I'll read it to you in its entirety. This is Josh Hammer for Daily Mail. He writes, on Monday evening, the most dangerous man in America sat to interview a confused millennial. In the first place, I'm a Generation Z, not a millennial. And trust me, I'm not confused, but he goes on, he writes, the pair, who for months have been regaling the masses with a bit of low-rent turf war kayfabe, implying the other was an undercover Fed, decided to drop the faux hatchet once and for all. I would add, you know, for all the self-aggrandizement of the Jewish people, they're not very intelligent. The guy's not a very good writer. I'm reading through this, he writes like an asshole. And I'd also say, it wasn't a low-rent turf war. This has been a legitimate feud for years. It's not kayfabe or kayfob. It's not There's nothing fake about that. That was real. Tucker did try to hurt my reputation. I really tried to hurt his. That was real. Anyway, he goes on. They did so not necessarily because they care for one another, but because of their shared passion for tackling a mutual foe, Western civilization. Really? Me and Tucker are against Western civilization. What exactly does that mean to you? You're accusing us of being white supremacist, Christian nationalist, anti-Semites. We're against what else is Western civilization? Other than white people, other than Christendom. I mean, what else would you call it? Is it anything? I mean, Western civilization is not African. It's not Chinese. It's not Hindu. What are you talking about? We're nationalists. We're pro-white. We're anti-immigration. What are you talking about? Well, he says, we're tackling Western civilization, which for millennia has claimed the Hebrew Bible as its preeminent moral and legal wellspring. The Hebrew Bible? Really? Are you sure it's not the Bible? Because there's kind of an important difference. The difference between the Hebrew Bible and the Bible is that the Bible contains the gospel. Are you sure about that? Did Constantine legalize the Hebrew Bible in the 4th century, or was it Christianity? You know, in this sign you will conquer, was that the Star of David or was that the cross? What are you talking about? And by the way, Western civilization actually precedes the coming of Jesus Christ. And it also includes the pagan Greeks, the pagan Romans, the pagan Germanic tribes. What are you talking about? All of Western civilization is built on the Hebrew Bible. That's not true at all. The origins of Western civilization are in pagan Greek philosophy, pagan Hellenistic culture, and then the Romans, the Germanic tribes, and then Christianity. Not the Hebrew Bible, not the Mishnah, not the Talmud, the gospel. So that's just not, that is the most, this is when I say, all they do is lie. All they do is lie through their teeth. They're tackling Western civilization because Western civilization is the Hebrew Bible. Really? Because last I checked, the Roman Empire destroyed the Jewish temple before they embraced the entire Bible, not the Hebrew Bible. But maybe I'm wrong. He goes on. He says, just to be clear, I'm not talking about George Soros and Hassan Piker. This was a chat between the erstwhile king of cable news, Tucker Carlson, and Nick Fuentes, the loquacious Holocaust denier who's been a leading anti-Semitic provocateur since he first burst onto the political commentary scene a decade ago. He writes, Fuentes perhaps most infamous for a 2019 rant wherein he analogized Jews massacred by the Nazis to the Sesame Street character Cookie Monster, baking cookies in an oven in an attempt to explain why 6 million dead Jews in the hands of the Nazis doesn't make sense. Stayed true to his form during the Carlson interview. At various points, Fuentes mused about the evils of organized Jewry, he says in scare quotes. Is that not real? And contended that discredited neoconservatism cannot be divorced from Jewishness. That's news to this Jew, he writes. Is it? The host's response, in turn, was so fawning that it amounted to a laundering of Fuentes' repugnant beliefs, which are what exactly? What are the repugnant beliefs? Fuentes, who has personally called me filth. That's after, by the way, Josh Hammer called me filth in an interview after Charlie Kirk died, and said that Jews like me and Mark Levin are not American and do not belong here, claimed yet again on Carlson's show that American Jews put the interests of Israel over their own country. It's a monstrous, destructive lie. He claimed that Jews hate Europeans because the Romans destroyed the temple in Jerusalem 2 millennia ago. It's... what are the repugnant beliefs? Fuentes, who has personally called me filth. That's after, by the way, Josh Hammer called me filth on an interview after Charlie Kirk died, and said that Jews like me and Mark Levin are not American and do not belong here. Claimed yet again on Carlson's show that American Jews put the interests of Israel over their own country. It's a monstrous, destructive lie. He claimed that Jews hate Europeans because the Romans destroyed the temple in Jerusalem 2 millennia ago. It's simply preposterous. Let's back that up. Hammer says, Nick Fuentes claims that Jews hate Europeans because the Romans destroyed the temple in Jerusalem. Well, here's a tweet from Josh Hammer. November 12, 2019, he writes, Jew hatred is inherent in European DNA. Not a one-off. He writes in February 18th, 2019, Europeans have anti-Semitism in their DNA. There's many more tweets like, there's probably a dozen tweets like this on Josh Hammer's timeline. So he writes in the Daily Mail, it's a monstrous, destructive lie. He claims that Jews hate Europeans because the Romans destroyed the temple. It's simply preposterous. Really? Because here you are multiple times saying, Jew hatred is inherent in your DNA. Europeans have anti-Semitism in their DNA. Europe will never change. Jew hatred is inherent in its collective DNA. It's a preposterous lie. You're lying. It's a lie. Really, dude? It's not a lie. You tell on yourself. You said it yourself. And he didn't cover the example. You can go and find, there's a dozen of them. Pictures of Jews like Eric Weinstein, who is close with Peter Thiel, and he was part of the intellectual dork web about a decade ago. Eric Weinstein posted pictures of himself in Italy giving the middle finger to the Arch of Titus. Do you know what the Arch of Titus commemorates? The destruction of the Jewish temple by the Roman Empire. And they do this all the time. You can find dozens of pictures like this. There was an Israeli that was in Italy that posted with his Israeli passport and his middle finger in front of the Arch of Titus saying, we're still here, you're not. And this is what I'm talking about. It's the audacity. They lie. The level of deception, it's literally incomprehensible. For them to say for years, repeatedly, over and over, Europeans have anti-Semitism in their DNA. They hate us in their DNA. They're evil in their DNA. Here we are flipping off the Arch of Titus. Oh, you think that we hate Europeans? A preposterous lie, a monstrous lie. Really? It's right there. Anyone can Google it. I mean, you really cannot comprehend the level of dishonesty. He goes on, but the Jewish people themselves represent the tip of the spear of what the Carlson-Fuentes cabal represents. Oh, cabal now? I thought that was an anti-Semitic show. He writes, Carlson personally saved his most seething hatred for his fellow Christians and those of a Zionist disposition in particular. Specifically, Carlson said the Christian Zionists are dangerous heretics and that he despises them more than anyone else on earth, certainly more than the Sharia law proponents on whose behalf Carlson has taken. He goes on, he says, make no mistake, there is a sprawling information operation afoot that has as its goal the fracturing of the ecumenical Jewish-Christian biblical alliance that long ago built and which can alone sustain Western civilization and the civilization's leading light, the United States. What are you talking about? Ecumenical biblical alliance that built the West? What are you talking about? The Romans destroyed your temple. They expelled you from the land. And then for 1,000 years, you were chased out of one country after another. Chased out of England, chased out of France, chased out of Spain and Portugal, chased out of Italy. What are you talking about? And then when you all wound up in Poland, you were segregated. segregated and abused. And I'll grant, I don't agree with the pogroms against the Jews, but that's the history. The West was built by the Catholic Church. And then later on, after the Middle Ages, maybe you could argue by Protestant princes and kings. And then later after that, by Christian scientists. And universities built by Christians and Christian men. When people came to colonize the New World, when America was founded, it was founded as a Christian nation, not some ecumenical Jewish Christian nation. That's just not true. What are you talking about? It's like they have a completely different alien view of history. He goes on, he writes, the operation has as its leading objectives the distancing of evangelical Christians from the Jewish people and the distancing of the United States from Israel. The operatives are cheering on the West's Islamist and globalist enemies, whether they care to admit it or not. Carlson is their leading propagandist, and Fuentes, an opportunistic click chaser, is along for the ride. I would flip those. I mean, I'm opportunistic. I don't have a bank account. I got banned from processing credit card payments. If anyone is the ideological opponent, it's me. I would just say that. He writes, one man who was decidedly not along for this hellish jaunt was someone Carlson now has the audacity to purport to represent and memorialize, my late friend and noted Christian Zionist Charlie Kirk. Perhaps no one in America despised Nick Fuentes more than Kirk. Fuentes tormented Kirk and his now widow Erica for years on end over the fact that Kirk would not allow Fuentes to attend his events. In his final months, Kirk's hostility towards Fuentes only hardened. He was horrified to see this raging bigot gain traction in right-of-center circles, something he privately confided to me and others. As our Salem Podcast Network colleague Dinesh D'Souza revealed yesterday, Kirk was livid at D'Souza for recently deigning to debate Fuentes. Kirk called him vermin. None of this was news to me. Kirk himself encouraged me to express to D'Souza my own frustrations. I neglected to do so for the very simple reason that D'Souza so thoroughly and effectively skewered Fuentes in their debate. Well, you might be the only one that believes that, because 99% of people said I'm wrong. He writes, but I have no doubt that Kirk is now rolling in his grave after Carlson's latest stunning act of anti-Western subjugation and personal betrayal. Carlson, Fuentes, Candace Owens, and their entire disreputable ilk are incapable of acknowledging that an American might simply support the Jewish people because he sees in the Jews the origins of monotheism and thus all Western morality. They refuse to concede that an American might support close-knit U.S.-Israel relations not due to moral or financial blackmail, but due to an earnest assessment that the alliance furthers American interests. They can't bring themselves to admit such basic points because to do so would undermine the assertion that has become most foundational to their worldview. The Jews are responsible for all of America's ills, and America must abandon them. And in order for this to happen, it is not that these statistically insignificant Jews must come to loathe themselves, but that those statistically very significant Christians must come to loathe the Jews. Oy vey, they want to get us to hate the Jews. They're trying to get everyone to hate the Jews again. It's the Holocaust all over again. He writes, if this looks like a war on MAGA and the modern American right, that's because that's exactly what it is. Carlson and his clan have declared their jihad not on the woke forces of civilizational arson on the addle-brained left, but on the forces of civilizational sanity on the MAGA right. They hope to burn down MAGA and build a neo-pagan, anti-Western, anti-biblical movement in its stead. And here's the best part, he writes, the fox is now comfortably ensconced in the henhouse, and unless the fox is neutralized, the victim could be the entire extant GOP coalition itself. So what did he mean when he said that we must be neutralized? The fox is in the henhouse and the fox must be neutralized. What does that mean exactly? I think we need a clarification. Is Josh Hammer calling for Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes to be killed? Is that what he means when he says that the fox needs to be neutralized? What else could he mean by that? After Donald Trump got shot in the ear, after Charlie Kirk got shot in the neck, what else could we actually interpret that to mean other than Josh Hammer is calling for Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes to be murdered. We have to be neutralized in order to save the right from decoupling from Israel? I think everybody has had enough. And it's like Charlie Kirk said. It's true. Charlie Kirk hated me. It's true. Charlie Kirk despised me. He did not like me. And I didn't like him. I didn't like him for 1 second that he was alive. That's absolutely true. But you know what else is true? 2 days before Charlie Kirk died, he started to agree with me, not you. 2 days before he died, Charlie Kirk said, they are leaving me with no choice. He said, I'm going to bring Tucker Carlson to AmFest, and I'm going to bring Candace Owens too. He said, because they are leaving me no choice. And I would bet you a lot of money that if Charlie Kirk lived a little bit longer, he would have brought me to Turning Point as well. Because that's the direction it was going in. That's the direction it had been trending in for years. He was emboldened. Charlie Kirk let Tucker come to SAS over the summer. He got nothing but pushback and attacked by Josh Hammer himself. Hammer leaves that part out. He was brutal to Charlie Kirk, as was Bill Ackman, as were all the others. So much so that it turned Charlie against them. And in his final days, Charlie said, you know what, F them, I'm bringing Tucker back, and I'm going to bring Candace Owens too. How long before the Groypers would have been there? And the thing about Josh Hammer, at the end of the day, he is not an American. No, Josh, you're not American. There's nothing American about you. You don't fucking look American. You don't sound American. Your wife's not American. You're not American. And you're not American, maybe most importantly, because you will never put America first. As long as you are loyal to Israel in any way, as long as you are advocating for America to give its money to Israel, to send its people to die for Israel, you are not loyal to America. You can never say America first. You will never be America first. And you will never be an American. So if you believe that Israel is the foundation of Western civilization, if you believe the Hebrew Bible matters so much, if you have such a problem with Americans like me and Tucker Carlson, then why don't you go to Israel? Please, do us all a big favor. Take your genius, take your smarts, you guys are so fucking brilliant. Never miss an opportunity to remind everybody how great you are, how brilliant you are, how awesome you are. We owe you everything. It'll be our loss. Why don't you and Ben Shapiro and Mark Levin and Laura Loomer, you unlikable, despicable pieces of shit, why don't you get the fuck out of America and go to Israel, which we all know you love so much. Do us all a favor. Otherwise, you better get on board. Because whether you like it or not, this country is done. We're done with the Jewish oligarchy. We are done with the slavish surrender to Israel, the wars, the foreign aid, the policing of anti-Semitism, the Holocaust religion and propaganda. You know it, I know it. The young people in this country, the next generation, God bless them. On the left and the right, they know that you are full of shit. They're finished with the lies, with the humiliation rituals, insulting our intelligence, the derision and the contempt that you hold us in. Everyone knows it. And you know as well as anybody that in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, there's only going to be more Nick Fuentes. There's only going to be more Groypers. Your Vice President, J.D. Vance, even he knows he has to pander to us. Even he at Turning Point USA had to pander to us and answer questions about Palantir and Miriam Adelson and whether Trump obeys Israel, because that's the way this country is going. So, Josh Hammer, Mark Levin, Ben Shapiro, Loomer, you better get the fuck on board with America and Americans and our new vision, which is America first. And if you don't like it, leave. If you don't like it, you can go home. Fortunately, you have spent decades murdering and killing and massacring and raping to make an oasis for yourself in the desert. You can go there. But what I like about my interview with Tucker Carlson is this proves we don't actually need their permission. They can squeal and they can scream like they are. Hammer and Clavin, all of these, they are despicable. The way they sound, you hear Mark Levin, he can barely contain himself. He's shaking with anger. Nick Fuentes, he's like Adolf Hitler. These are the most unlikable people that you can imagine. On a personal level, they're just despicable. And what Tucker demonstrated on Monday is that you don't need to listen to these people. Tune them out, turn them off. Take the volume dial and turn it all the way down. We're not listening anymore. We don't care. Your book about Western civilization and Israel, we don't care. We're not reading it. You're bitching, you're whining, you're squealing about anti-Semitism. Nobody's listening anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody's watching. We've tuned you out. We know what you are. You don't care about us. You don't care about this country. You don't respect this place. You don't respect our ancestors, and you don't even worship our God. So why would we listen to you for one more second?
Our forces control more objectives than the enemy.
We don't need your permission to have these conversations. We don't need your permission to talk to each other. We don't need your permission to put America first. And they're worried because they know that when people hear this message, they're gonna like it. That's why they're squealing. That's why they're talking about no platforming and gatekeeping and censorship. It's not because the message is so horrible and hateful. It's because they know the message is so powerful and compelling. Everyone is gonna believe it. Everyone is going to go along with it. Because it's the truth. Because it's reality. And everyone knows that. So I saw this article. He says, Tucker and Nick Fuentes should be neutralized. Bring it on. Who's going to do it? You? Bring it on. You want to neutralize me? You know where to find me, Josh. Why don't you do it yourself? They say neutralize us. Well, you know, they could neutralize us. I'm sure they could. I'm sure they got bombs inside the pagers. I'm sure they'd have a big laugh about that. Take out one Nick Fuentes, watch 1,000 more take my place, and they'll be 100 times more radical. Go ahead. It won't go the way you think. He says he wants to neutralize Tucker and Nick Fuentes. And of course, if I talked so recklessly about any of them, could you imagine the blowback? Could you imagine, God forbid, if I went on my show and said, Mark Levin needs to be neutralized? Could you imagine I would be hunted by the FBI? And rightfully so. Think about the climate we're in. Think about the climate of political violence. Think about the climate, how intense and polarized and angry, how much tension there is in society. Rightfully so. If Zoran Mamdani, if AOC, if me, if Hassan Piker, if Tucker said Mark Levin, Josh Hammer gotta be neutralized, could you imagine the FBI be knocking on our door in 30 seconds? But they get away with that like they get away with everything because there's no rules for them. The way they lie, like they did throughout this article, the way they defame, they're calling us Nazis, just like Adolf, he's a Jew hater, the way they call for censorship, the way they call for violence, the way they gloat about death and destruction, nobody else would get away with this. How is it possible? Levin still has an audience with Donald Trump. And Josh Hammer is still on a syndicated radio show. It's time for these people to be canceled. And by that I mean, when is the pressure going to come for Salem Radio? Cancel your Salem Radio subscriptions. There needs to be a public pressure campaign. You can't go around saying we're neutralizing people and keep your book deal, keep your radio show. It's time for cancel culture to go in the other direction and for people to say, you know what? We're done with this shit. We're not putting up with that. You want to have a difference of opinion? That's fine. Honest to God, If you want to go out there and say, I support Israel, that's your God-given right, just like it's mine to say we shouldn't support Israel. But these people have pushed it to the limit with the lies, the bullying, the intimidation, the threats of violence. It's not acceptable. Nobody needs that in this country. Americans are not going to be bullied by these whiny, high-pitched voice fucking nebbishes. We're not going to be bullied by them. You think I'm intimidated by that? Mark Levin, you think I'm intimidated by you? I'm Italian. We're not intimidated by you. I'm American. We're not intimidated by that. He gets on his show. He gets on the microphone. Big tough guy behind the microphone. You're an old man. We are done being bullied. We don't give a fuck anymore. That's what we all have. Whatever the differences, whatever different backgrounds we come from, whether it's Tucker Carlson, Kanye West, Donald Trump, Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Alex Jones, Nick Fuentes, we're just done being bullied. You will not bully us anymore. Do we look afraid? Do we look intimidated? We will not be bullied anymore by these people. It's enough, and nobody has the balls to just say it that way. It is enough out of you. We are all sick of it. And I've seen nothing but that on my timeline for the past 48 hours. All of them. So bold. So audacious. That's the only language they speak. Clavin, Hammer, Levin, Joe Lonsdale, Sean McGuire, Loomer, Shapiro. I mean, every single one of them. Josh Hammer. That's the only language they know is to get on their show, beat their chest. He's a Nazi, he's a Jew hater. I can't believe this is happening. Well, believe it. You don't run this anymore. You are not in control anymore. It's over. It's been over. It's just a matter of time for things to see themselves through. So you can bitch and moan. Your reign is over, and you know that. So anyway, that's the Josh Hammer situation. I can't tell you how infuriating that is, because fundamentally, it's just so maliciously dishonest. It is so everything they say is a lie. Did you watch the interview? Because in the interview, nothing objectionable was said. I said, look, you can't divorce Israel from Jewishness. Isn't that obvious? Is it controversial to say Israel is Jewish? It is. In the same interview, I said, we don't hate anybody. We don't want to hurt anybody. We don't want to kill anybody. We want to put America first. And with no compunction, the way they lie. Oh, you're a hater. You love Hitler. Western civilization's all about the Hebrew Bible. Come on. And you got to be taken out. And you're with the Muslims. We're with the Muslims. Get the fuck out of here. It's the malevolent, malicious lying, the backstabbing dual loyalty, the way they have this agenda, which they think is secret, it so isn't. The way they have this agenda, they're working on behalf of Israel. They think nobody knows that. They want everybody to believe they're not. It's so obvious. It's wrong. It's wrong. This is America. You love America. This is your only allegiance. This is your country. These are your people. And that's how it is. Or else you can find another host to leech off of. That's how it is. And by the way, this is a welcoming country. This is a decent country. This is a loving country. To its detriment, this is an altruistic and tolerant country. If you have Americans pissed off at you, you have done something wrong. Americans are not bad people. They're not hateful. They're not old world. They don't have those ancient prejudices. I didn't. I don't. But they have taken for granted the hospitality of this nation. That's what it is. Don't feel like I'm not the bad guy. You're not the bad guy. This is righteous indignation. We are being taken advantage of. This nation opened its arms wide for all different kinds of people. Like I said, and I don't even know if that's a good thing, but it did. Because that's just who Americans are. And they have abused the good faith and the goodwill of the American people. That's what that is. When you look at these evangelical Protestants in the South, they earnestly and sincerely love Israel, and the Israelis fucking hate them. Hate them. These evangelicals, they go to church and they weep and they cry and they tithe. And they earnestly support Israel. And when they go on pilgrimages to Israel, they get spit on. They get attacked. You look at opinion polls, the Israelis hate them. They look at them with contempt and disdain. That's wrong. That's being taken advantage of. That's abuse. That's not right. You wouldn't, and no American would deign to go into any other country. We wouldn't go into China and say, well, we're in charge here and you better care about our shit and we run everything and you all have to accommodate us. You wouldn't even think of that. That's how they are here. And it's wrong and it's got to stop. And Americans have to stand up for themselves. Are you not tired of being the whipping boy? Are you not tired? You know, and I think of these guys, some of them, like Matt Walsh. When are you going to stand up for yourself, man? Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles. When are you going to stand up for yourselves? When are we going to stop being pushed around and bullied and owned by these people? I did it 10 years ago. I figured it out when I turned 18 because I'm a smart guy, and I decided on the same day I will not be pushed around by these people. I will not be pushed around by Aaron Bandler and Elliot Hamilton, two ugly, unremarkable, pathetic people. I said, I will never be pushed around by you. You have no idea what I am capable of. I am so far beyond you. And other people need to make that same decision. But anyway, that's Aaron Bandler. That's Josh Hammer. They all blend together to me. We're going to move on. We're going to get into our story about the Gaza ceasefire. And I don't know that we'll have too much time to spend on this because I just went way above and beyond on that story. I was really into that one. It was good, but it was good, I thought. It's true. All right, but we'll spend a little bit of time on the Gaza. You know what? Maybe we'll just skip it. Maybe we'll just save it for tomorrow. Because we're already an hour in and it's already late. Man, we might save it for tomorrow. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. I'll have to change the title real quick. Yeah, because we do have to spend a little bit of time on the Gaza ceasefire. It's going to take some time to work through it, so I guess we'll just save it for tomorrow, and we'll do the super chats. Because, I want to do it. I want to give it justice. Also, I did Alex Jones this morning, so you already got a little taste. I did an hour and 20 minutes with Alex Jones this morning, so let's say Josh Hammer wants Tucker dead. Well, let's say Zionists outraged. Well, Zionists. What should the title be of the show? I should have wrote something up beforehand. Well, we'll take a look at the super chats in 1 second. I just got to think of a good title. All right. There we go. Let's take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this. Let's take a look. Let me get set up here. All right. You like my new friend here? I didn't want him on the show yesterday because it was kind of distracting and it was an important show. But look, wait, check this out. Ready? Check this out. That's kind of fun, right? He's just like a regular, I don't know, he's just like a white guy underneath. But yeah, I thought I'd put this little ghost guy up. I had it for yesterday, but like I said, the show was too big. It's like, this thing is huge. It's distracting. Isn't that kind of fun, though? We'll do it one more time if you missed it. If you missed it the first time, we'll do it one more time. Are you the greatest? I love that. Okay, all right. Let's take a look at the super chats. Let's see what we got. That's kind of fun, right? I love Halloween. I love the seasons. The weather's getting cooler. Halloween is upon us. I love the Halloween colors. I love like the black and orange, the purple and green. There's something, it just puts you in the zone when you see those colors. It's like an animal instinct. When you see the black and orange, the purple and green, you're like, this is Halloween. I love it. I love these lights. Hey, I love Goobas. I love these lights. They're perfect. And then you get Chris. I can't wait for Christmas this year. So excited. So excited for Christmas. The whole holiday season. It's going to be great. Okay.
Wine War Palestine sent $250. Just dropping by to show my support. Standing by you always, brother. God bless.
Thank you for the big super chat. As always, appreciated, my friend. Thank you very much. A beautiful super chat. Very powerful and very strong super chat. Never seen anything like it. We
Julian
love
sent
it.
$30. Did you read the neat piece from Tuesday on Brill and Holly Hand? You and the America First movement get a quick mention. Brillen did a talk at Clemson University, and a student asked him what he thought about America becoming less than 50% white in the future. Brillen deflected the question and said it was a rabbit hole.
Oh, Brylan. I would like to debate Brylan Hollyhand. Or I'd like to meet him. Maybe not debate him, but I'd like to meet him. It's just like, how are you real, bro? How are you real? Like that, the whole affect is completely fake. He's just like a fake human being. Fakeoid robot. He's like a turning point robot. People are saying this pumpkin is Jewish. I can't imagine why. The pumpkin is sort of behind the set. It's like all the way over here. I wonder who could be behind this show. I wonder who could be behind this show, scheming. That's our producer. That's our producer. This is the producer for the show. His name is David Pumpkinstein. He's the producer. He chose all the decorations. He's keeping me honest. He's keeping me moderate.
Joe sent $20. I am in an English education program in GA. The program is hostile toward those who do not agree with their politics on BLM, immigration, LGBTQ, gun rights, etc. They kicked people out of the program before. Many in the program feel unsafe, insecure. Can you speak to us educators? We are trapped with no support or voice.
What do you want me to say to educators? Yeah, that's crazy. Education is liberal? I mean, what do you want me to say about it?
Base sent $100. I forgot to mention the other night, I am no longer paralyzed. Through diet, exercise and prayer, God gave me my legs back too. I had serious neuropathy and it was extremely painful, but God gave me the strength to get through it. God is real and Christ is king. Also paid $100 for your Telegram group. Where can I find the link to access?
Well, it doesn't work that way. If you actually signed up, it'll set you up automatically. So I don't know if you actually did it, but you can send support an email if you need help with that. Thank you for the big super chat. Come on now. You're not paralyzed? I don't believe that. Your legs came back? Come on now, really? I mean, don't get me wrong. I believe in God as much as the next guy, but your legs were paralyzed, then they came back? I've never heard of such a thing. Through diet and exercise? Come on now. You're telling me you drank enough apple cider vinegar and you said, I can walk. You got up out of your wheelchair. It's a miracle. I can walk. You know, I drank apple cider vinegar. I ate steak and shake fries made with beef tallow and not seed oils. Mama, look, I can walk again. Like, come on now. Come on now. Really? And I'm not dude, I think I have like a sliver. My finger hurts. I don't know. That doesn't sound like a real story. Maybe you can elaborate more on that.
American Glory percent $100. Crazy how many people downvoted your Telegram post that LARPing as a Nazi is cringe. It's the same people that have a problem with your elite human capital message. Total losers.
So true. They are losers. Thank you for the big super chat. There'll always be more losers than winners. Raise your right hand. I swear I'm going to be a winner. I swear. I swear I'm going to be elite human capital. Yeah, we don't. Honestly. Ain't nobody got time for that.
Bro Hyper Fitness sent $25. How can Trump 2.0 defund aid to Israel without emboldening and enabling our common enemies?
That's not a problem.
The Dark Goy sent $50. Nick. Thank you for the well thought out answer to my last question. Always a pleasure getting your insight. It's nice for people not politically savvy to hear how they can start making an impact. Also, if you're bored, look at the YouTube comment section on the Tucker/you interview. We have arrived. You are the future. It's
Thank
time.
you.
America first.
I appreciate it. Yeah, you got it, buddy. You're welcome for the answer. Yeah, the comment section was very funny. Real laugh riot.
Ethan Allen sent $20. Scott Adams discussed your TC interview on his show today. CWSA October 29, 2025, starting 1 hour and 18 seconds. Are Nick views racist or just common sense? He's not backing off from the common sense culture part of immigration policy. Clearly, some people assimilate better than others. Nobody really disagrees with that.
Interesting. I'll have to go back and watch that.
Christine in Ohio sent $25. Hi, King. First off, today is my birthday and I'm going to be missing the show until rerun because I'm going out to dinner late with a bunch of family. But I just wanted to say how much I appreciate you and all that you do. Here's some serious glaze. Love you so much, just like my own kid. Looking forward to watching later.
I'm gonna, listen, I gotta get out there soon for your birthday. For your birthday, I just gotta fully fucking send it and just do it because I have a gift for you. I have a gift for you. It'll be perfect for your birthday. Happy birthday, Christine. Everybody wish her a happy birthday in the live chat. So glad you're with us. We love you. We're so glad you're on your way to recovery, and I'm glad you're having a wonderful dinner with your family. God bless you. I love to hear that. So enjoy the dinner, enjoy your family, enjoy the birthday. We're celebrating you, and we love you, and I'm glad to hear that. Christine in Ohio, the GOAT of Ohio, the coat, the Christine of all time. The Ohioan of all time. Only in, Christine, describe our friend group. Only in Ohio. Hey, we love you. I'll see you soon. I might have to neutralize some of those pierogies. I'm gonna have to neutralize that food truck. Coming in hot. I'm coming in hot.
Pilates sent $30. Shout out Michael Hittak. Groy Perung type shit.
Who? Michael Hittak. I don't know him. He's from LaGrange. What's the shout out for? Did something happen with him? Did I miss something? That's a W though. W LaGrange. WLT alum.
Rhodesian Groy percent $100. Big love from Africa Man.
All right. Thank you for the big super chat. We love Africa. We love those, we love the Afrikaners. Hope you guys are doing, are you black though, or are you white, or what's going on with that? But we love that. Good for you, W Africa.
My trade sent $50. Wealth gap closure seems impossible at this point. Feels firmly cemented into this capitalist economy, where foreign and corporate control over Congress and presidency is the norm. Any early stage economic policies?
In early stage economic policies to do what? To close the wealth gap? I'm not necessarily interested in closing the wealth gap in and of itself. You know, I don't like that phrase. I don't like talking about wealth gap because there's always going to be a wealth gap. And as we progress, I think the wealth gap naturally is going to get bigger because there's more wealth than ever. There's more capital than ever. So, you know, I don't like that terminology. I like the idea of just having, it's really more something like we want people to own their homes. Like not everybody's going to be rich, and we don't want the super rich to be less rich. I mean, it's okay to have very wealthy people. The problem is that the masses are becoming extremely poor. It used to be the case, arguably, that you had social mobility so people could move in between socioeconomic classes. and that there was a bigger middle class that actually had more wealth. And by that, I mean they had a net worth. Now it seems like nobody has a net worth. And I haven't looked at the data on this lately, but the last several statistics I've seen about this are very alarming. How many people have like a zero or a negative net worth? People that are paycheck to paycheck, drowning in credit card debt, basically insolvent. I mean, people really have people work, they have jobs, maybe they have a good income, but they have no wealth. They don't own anything. They don't have any assets. And that's a huge problem. So I'm really more concerned about how do we get people, so this is Mothma Trades, guy's an idiot. It's the wrong question.
And 1 cent $25. The future of the AF is inevitable. Having a Christian patriot like Tucker on our side would strengthen our legitimacy. This is truly a pivotal time. I pray that types like Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh come to understand the serious situation America is in. We have great opportunity to unify under American first in Christ.
I totally agree.